Let's quickly break down motivations. And the reason we're doing this is to really start to tailor our job search and the types of companies and opportunities we're going after based off of what we really want. And sometimes we chase things that maybe we don't want, but other people in our lives influence us to want. Who knows? So the primary motivations are broken down into money, lifestyle, challenge, and that usually is career related challenge, work environment, job security, and overall values. Motivations will change over time. So as a young person, I was way more into money. And as I've gotten a little older, I like a work life balance or lifestyle. So, from the money standpoint, if you are looking to relocate from the United States, there is a likelihood, if you're not going to a European capital, that there is a different cost of living either way on either side of the aisle. But it is really important to understand the difference between short term versus long term and what an average salary would look like, and of course, what taxes would look like. I live in a country that has the highest taxes in all of Europe. So, there's that. From a lifestyle standpoint, I've already kind of alluded to this earlier. I really enjoyed not having to commute anymore because I, at my peak, was doing an hour and a half each way in Washington, D.C. It was driving me nuts. The daily things that I got into after work were very different when I moved to Europe, and the experiences that I was able to have by encountering lots of international people was totally different. So there's maybe an angle towards a mental health or avoiding burnout that a lot of people are looking into now. There's this crazy thing called 996 where you work 9 to 9 p.m. and that's 6 days a week. It's a 72-hour work week and it's very big in Asia. And there are some tech companies in Silicon Valley that are saying, hey, this is how we roll. And if you're into it, come join us. And maybe at an earlier era in my life, I probably would have. From the standpoint of challenge, there's professional goals, there's personal goals, there's new skills, there's advancement, there's your goal is to lead a department or be a senior manager or a partner or whatever the case is. Everybody has their own version of that, that sometimes is brought on by exterior or external influence, and sometimes it's just we're motivated from within. Who knows? The work environment's super important for a lot of people. Again, the commute thing drove me absolutely nuts. I would never do a lengthy commute again. Some people like a very direct culture. Other people want to work with people they consider friends and therefore colleagues, and the nature of their back and forth with colleagues is super important. And sometimes office politics are a big part of a work environment, and people have been jaded by that, never want to be a part of office politics. Job security, I think we all can agree, comes a little later in life. Maybe if you haven't had that as you're getting into the job market, it might be really important for you to be a part of a union or be a part of something that you're able to consistently know with a month from now, 6 months from now, even a year from now, that job is going to be there because maybe you're trying to build a family. Maybe you're trying to get married at some point. You want to buy a house. Who knows? There are all sorts of jobs that give you long-term growth options that are not necessarily the same with, I don't know, the world that I've come from, startups. Values has become a lot more important, especially with Gen Z and younger generations in general. But having a sense of purpose and alignment of your personal values with the work that you're doing can be extremely rewarding for a lot of people. So, having a purpose driven work environment can really change the way that you think about work and your job and so on and so forth. There's just a couple of quick career motivational statistics that I wanted to go into. So, guess some of the answers, and I'll show you right after this. The most important factors in accepting a new job are the percentage of people that said compensation, the percentage of people that said professional development, the percentage of people that said work life balance, the percent of employees that would be willing to accept lower pay if it meant working in their dream job, and the percent of workers worldwide feeling engaged in their work. Here are the numbers. 49% of people said compensation was the most important thing. 33% said professional development. 29% said better work life balance. Alternatively, 74% of employees would be willing to accept lower pay if it meant working in their dream job. And 15% of workers worldwide feel engaged in their work, meaning 85% of people do not feel engaged. That is a real thing. I've put in a quick activity in here. This is optional, but I do think it gives you some interesting thoughts and ideas that may spur out of just seeing what types of personality traits tend to gravitate towards types of fields. I could go on for days how much personality tests are bullshit depending on what you're trying to answer and how favorably you're trying to answer depending on who's asking the questions. But I have put a link in here, and there is a personality test there for you so you can check out job personality, or you can just test yourself in general in terms of the types of career motivations you have. There is the Myers-Briggs, and this is basically an offshoot of that. Check those out if you like. If you're into those things, great. If you're not, that's okay too.